for this clip that I'm about to show you from Fox News. A trigger warning that is very much necessary because of how disgusted I was when I first saw it. This young man F around and found out. But the actions from the young progressive liberals right now is actually concerning. And I'm just going to go forward and show you this video. There is a deeper conversation we need to have about what is going on in this country and what's about to happen in this country. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
Man trampled a memorial for Charlie Kirk at the Turning Point headquarters in Phoenix. Our photographer on the scene says the man kicked over flowers, vases, and balloons, and then arrested for trespassing and destroying a community memorial. Phoenix police say the suspect is 19-year-old Ryder Corral. And then also an interesting observation, it appears that the man who trampled the memorial may have been wearing a similar shirt that the alleged assassin was wearing on the day of the shooting here in Utah. It appears there's a logo that has a United States flag and an eagle on it. So make of that what you will. Man.
Okay. Yes. I'm telling you, man, there is something evil happening in this country. People think that this is the right thing to do. This young man probably in his mind thinks that that's the right thing to do because Charlie Kirk was so evil. He was compared to Hitler. He was compared to all these bad things. He must have been stopped. What happened to him was morally their obligation because they've been brainwashed enough to think this. This is my opinion, but I promise you, going and I'm telling you, it's crazy what I'm seeing right now in the United States of America coming from the young college crowd, a 19-year-old white progressive. And I told you guys about these progressives, how they move. The liberals, like the liberal women, like it's something happening right now in the United States of America that is very concerning as far as where we're going to go. Anyways, I'm going to move on here. He said something very, very important. And I kind of want to get to this point here because there is a trend going on right now. Breaking, law enforcement has released a statement confirming that the man who destroyed a community memorial for Charlie Kirk at the TPUSA HQ has been identified as 19-year-old Ryder Corral. He is being booked on multiple charges, including criminal damage and disorderly conduct. Again, he was wearing the shirt that Charlie Kirk's assassin was wearing. We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. This is flat out crazy behavior. This is the movement of far left progressives. And this is what Trump was talking about. Trump, you know, he came out earlier today, made a statement that I actually want to play with you guys because it's actually pretty wild. He made this observation, and I gotta show you guys exactly what Trump said about this. Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you about our sponsor today, and this is something that's flying under the radar. Mainstream media is obsessed with President Trump, spinning every story, doing every culture war, distraction that they can do. We gotta talk about something far more important that is happening behind the scenes, involving a company called the Western Star Resources. Gold just hit an all-time high, and silver is back at levels that we have not seen since 2011. And yeah, that's with a strong dollar and rising treasury yields. Normally, that would push gold down, but this time gold is actually breaking out. Why? Because big money sees what's coming: an economic slowdown, Fed rate cuts, global instability. President Trump made his position very clear on Truth Social. Gold will not be tariffs. I don't trust the system at all, and you probably don't either. That's why it's worth looking at Western Star Resources. They're lean, they're early, and they're out there looking for the next big gold discovery. In the gold bull market, these are the kinds of plays that can really move. And gold keeps climbing like experts say it will. Companies like Western Star could actually benefit in a major way. You guys got to do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't wait for CNN, MSNBC to tell you that stuff is happening. By the time they do, the opportunity is already gone. So if you're into gold and silver or just want to learn more about this, check out Western Star Resources, making gold and silver great again. I'll drop in the link down below. Make sure to click. Now let's get back to the topic at hand.
Well, the problem is on the left. When you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left. That's not the right.
It is the young left wing. I got to tell you, it is the young leftists that are acting this way. Now, let me tell you guys something about this, because many people for the last few days have been pretty much saying that in their minds, they're living in a world where this guy is some type of right winger. The guy who took Charlie Kirk's life is a right winger. Come on, bro. That he is some type of Trump supporter. That he is, again, this right wing guy who grew up with the Republican family. Again, we found out details about the shooter, that he had a trans boyfriend, girlfriend, or was transitioning to be a girl. Again, I don't even care. He was living with someone that was trans. Many of his friends have come out and kind of confirmed all these things for us, confirmed who he was, confirmed what was going on. This story is taking so many turns because, again, it has come out that he was a part and he had some type of connection to the FBI, and state agencies have launched investigations into multiple leftist groups in Utah for possible advanced knowledge of the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're going to talk about this thing. It's getting actually deeper than what we could imagine. Not only are people wearing shirts saying this guy is some type of hero, like they did with Luigi Mangione, right? Like there is something happening in the United States from the inside with the young people that it screams, we must step in now, especially me being 28. We must step in. Christians must step in. We must preach the gospel. We must pray. We must, like, something needs to change now. So they're also probing whether or not these groups were provided material support after the what happened, the assassination. At least one group deactivated their social media pages soon after the shot was taken. Again, this is what we are seeing. We are seeing some type of connection between the assassin and Democratic Socialists of America in Utah. So there are some of these connections to DSA. There are some of these connections to the LGBTQ, to the trans community as a whole. So there's a lot of deep connections that are connecting this guy to these groups. And again, there was reports indicating that there was movements. There were movements in and out of the home for about a week. There was cars, movements. People were saying, hey, there is something happening. And by the way, before I continue on to that story, I know I'm a little all over the place here, just because I'm all over the place. I can't lie to you, but for good reason. I promise you, I'm all over the place for good reason. Here's something I want to show you, by the way. This kid was smiling. Like, this kid was legitimately smiling after he was arrested. Like, here's the photo. Why do they feel this way? We have seen many videos of a young college student celebrating, going off like, yeah, this is amazing. This is the best thing that could have happened. Like, where have we gone wrong here? That these young men and children have turned away from their parents or their morals to go this deep. It's something really concerning to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really is, because this movement, it seems like it's catching on. It seems like there is something else happening. Now, let's go back to Let's go back to the investigation here, right? Of what was happening days before, right? This is a report that was happening in the weeks before Charlie Kirk's assassin. Multiple cars without of state plates were seen coming and going from the killer's townhouse, according to the neighbors. They did not give off a good vibe. One of the neighbors said that there was cars incoming, outcoming from this guy's house. A neighbor claimed 2 weeks ago several people driving cars with out-of-state plates were seen coming in and out. They did not give off a good vibe, the neighborhood said. Also, one of the other reports here is that this guy, Tyler Robinson, is actually denying that he did it. He's denying that he was the actual shooter, that he did it. He's denying it. He is saying that he is not guilty of this. So there are so many moving pieces, but one of the biggest moving pieces is the fact that Not only have people or people are being investigated, because Trump also made that announcement, but one of the biggest movements here is how people are getting behind the shooter. People are getting behind the guy who wore the shirt. People are getting behind and celebrating this. People are getting physical. People are getting mad. What is next? I don't know. I'm looking around and I'm watching these things happen, what they're saying, how they're moving about it. And even Christians, some Christians is like, this guy, he said some bad things. He said some things I didn't agree with. He said some very, very bad things. As a Christian, I don't know how God can love him. Do you know who God used in the Bible? Do you know Paul? Before Paul was chosen by God to lead and to be as responsible for the Bible as Paul was, he was persecuting Christians. The people in the Bible that Jesus spoke to and talked to were not the best people. Imperfect people. Matthew, who again, Jesus spoke to and of what we know. Matthew was considered a traitor to his people because he ended up working for the Romans as a tax collector. We are talking about in this lifetime, people have the wrong perception of who God elects to use. I don't know, man. I do know, but I'm also very confused as to why someone would go do that. Some people are not celebrating. Some people just don't care. Fair enough. You don't have to. Celebrating the death of a man with 2 children and a wife, that's crazy. And if it had happened on the left, if it had happened on the right, excuse me, I would have 100% condemned that. We do not condone that type of behavior. So, there's so much information coming out. There were so many things coming out. But for this to be, look, this guy was arrested. He was tackled. He effed around and found out. But I just think there is something deeper happening. That there was some type of capturing of the young crowd to say the less. That they are at the point where there's just no coming back. I'm trying to watch my words, but it just seems like there's no coming back as to how the system must be destroyed for them. Look at Washington. Look at the state of Washington. Look at Seattle. Progressives in Seattle, low key, they just control that whole state. They just take over. We are anti-fascist. In their minds, they think this is the right thing to do. In their minds, they believe that taking away your rights is the right thing to do. They are morally obligated about it. They're morally obligated. That is dangerous, in my opinion. But I remember I got disqualified from YouTube in 2023. They took away everything from me because they said I was the one that was incendiary. They said that my words were about to cause incendiary behavior for people to go and do things. Boy, does YouTube look stupid now. I'll tell you that. They said that my words caused people to go do stuff. That's what they said, because I was covering videos, making reactions, breaking videos down, giving my opinion. And I remember they took everything away from me. But now that I look back, man, were they wrong? I'll leave it at that. This video, it made me angry. It made me angry to see that this is where we're at. We're at a very nasty place. We're at a crossroads, and we got to make a decision as a country immediately.